You're listening to Startup Stories on Good Morning Delhi with Sartak.
And what a lovely thing you're doing, listening to stories about those who've literally walked the talk, who've put their money and their hearts where their ideas lay, and that is inspiration, is it not? And of course, today we've got two people who are part of the sunrise industry, so to speak. There's so much innovation happening in the sphere that they have chosen that it's very exciting for us to have them here as well, and to talk about where exactly this is headed and how deep this is, and if that is enough hype for you, then I'll tell you it's 3D Paradise time, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they've decided to call their startup, Karan and Bharat. They are into 3D printing. It's a 360-degree solution kind of a firm. I could, of course, talk about everything that I have read on the internet, but then that would only be words that I've seen from my eyes and speak from my mouth. You've, of course, felt each and every word. So, first of all, welcome to our studio. And secondly, tell us, when did this vision of paradise hit the both of you?
So we basically started in 2017 after completing our engineering.
Right.
And then we were both passionate about this, making new stuff. So we basically got into this new product development kind of thing.
Right.
So we started taking in products of other companies and we started making those products for them.
Right.
And we were charging, of course, the fee for the services. And then we started making our own products, and we were using so much 3D printing that we started making our own 3D printers.
Okay.
Now our vision is basically to
Brilliant. Anyway, you're doing it, might as well go headlong into it.
We already have like a research team, and we were producing products for other people. So we were like, let's make product for ourselves as well. We can sell those products and market them. So everything is in-house, and we're just a few bunch of engineers in a large hall. We're just exchanging ideas. There's nothing formal. There's nothing professional in our business. We're just amateurs who are earning money by selling stuff that we love.
This sounds like a factory for memes, though.
It is kind of
a bunch of engineers in a huge hall. Sounds like memes every hour, but apparently it's 3D
I'll
printing.
tell you a story. We are so flexible that one of our engineers one day came in and said, enough of 3D printing, we're gonna do VR as well.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, let's try it. And now we are partnered up with the best mental hospital in the India right now.
Okay.
And we are making VR simulations for them. We are treating people with schizophrenia.
Wow.
So it's all about ideas, and we're just doing what we can.
And sometimes, we underestimate simplicity so much, no? I mean, it's like...
Exactly,
but the thing is that there is that intimidation of the unknown as far as 3D printing is concerned. I mean, it's this halo that 3D printing can do everything. We were discussing a while earlier that, it's also now part of the medical industry as well. So, it's a good space to be in, yeah?
Yeah.
It is a good space to be in, but there is one major problem. People combine this 3D printing into this some magical machine that it can produce anything. But it can't. It just can't. You need like 18 different 3D printers, different technologies, different processes to manufacture or to prototype anything.
Absolutely.
So 3D printing services, that's where we come in.
And that's exactly what we'll be talking about once we get back, because, hype. I mean, wow, kya hoga? What's next? Exactly what 3D printing is all about. The mechanics, the nuts and the bolts is what we're going to be talking about. Can people find you on the internet somewhere?
Exactly. They can find us on Google. They can find us on IndiaMart, Just Dial, be it anywhere. You just write 3D printing in Delhi, you'll find us there.
Paradise-3d.com.
That's the website
is
paradise-3d.com.
But tell us, what are the nuts and bolts? How does 3D printing happen? What are the materials? This is not your regular printing where you put a paper in and it comes out.
I wish it was.
Yeah, sometimes engineers always wish for simpler things, but you're the people who have complicated it, haven't you? I mean, straight from the wheel to the 3D printer. But how does it happen? What are the mechanics?
So basically, I hate the term 3D printing, first of all.
Okay. We'll start from there.
You see, I like this term additive manufacturing. That comprise of a system. As soon as you hear the name additive manufacturing, you know it's a system kind of a thing. It's a long process. It takes a lot of machines. For example, in 3D printing, there are like 20 different types of machines. Totally different. What
do they look like? Are they huge machines? Is it anything different from your regular printer?
So it's basically starts from the desktop 3D printer machine, just like a 2D 3D printer.
Okay.
And it goes like to a huge hall. The size, like it goes.
And
it
then
depends.
there's the cheerleader of 3D printing, the construction 3D printers.
Yeah.
That has not found any use in the real world,
Right.
but it's good for promoting 3D printing.
Okay.
Because everybody
Okay.
who gets into 3D printing goes through the construction 3D printer. It's
Okay.
like a marketing thing for
Okay.
us right now.
What exactly is the construction 3D printer?
Where you can make buildings, not buildings that will work, but
Okay.
it can create theoretically.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
models and scale models.
No,
and
no,
all
no,
that.
No,
not
the
the real
exact
building.
building.
Proper building,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Ah, okay. So how does the third dimension work? Because we work in 2 dimensions, right? As far as printing
Yeah.
is concerned, paper 2 dimensions,
Yeah.
in, out. So if I were to make that beautiful bobblehead that I am so in love with,
Yeah.
and I want to use the 3D printer to use that, how does that work? How does that happen?
So I'll explain in layman terms, like a
please.
2D printer, right? You print.
I love the
and
way
then-
you showed off your knowledge. But
Yeah.
I'll explain in layman terms, which is that you don't know. I'm going to tell you. Go ahead, Bharat.
Yeah, because if I'll bring in the Cartesian system and the G codes and everything, that will not help anybody. Not even help me.
My inner pseudo is so happy. This is exactly how you do the bragging bit. Subtle, but there. Go ahead, please.
So 3D printing is basically 2D printing, but one more step is there that you keep printing the 2D printing.
Okay.
For example, if you take in one page printout, then you take in like a page thickness is around 0.1 mm, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like very thin, the
Absolutely.
hair thin.
Yeah.
And then you take in thousands of these pages and you stack them together and then you cut according to your print and then you'll get the 3D object. That's exactly what every kind of 3D printing is.
Sure. So essentially, you're looking at expansion of scale as far as
Exactly.
the third dimension is
Exactly.
concerned. Yeah.
We just stretch out this Z dimension.
Sure.
And we do it over and over again. So
Yeah.
you print in layers.
So in
for
technical
every 3D
language,
printing.
yeah, you call it layer by layer 3D print, layer by layer technology.
Sure. So
So
you keep adding layers to it, which is
yeah.
what adds the dimension to
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So what are the spheres in which you are right now experimenting in?
So we are into medical, automotive, like be it product development, like mechanical, like everything. Starting from any segment, you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm assuming all new technology is very expensive, and I'm not just talking about the latest iPhone. It is that if there's a new printer to be built, if
Yeah.
there's a new machine to be built, it does take money. So what's the money scene like, considering that you decided that you wanted to get into the hardware bit of it as well? So what's the money scene like?
So the thing
I
is,
like the pregnant pause. It was like looking at each other. Who's going to go for it?
so the thing is, the money part in 3D printing, when you sell a 3D printer, it starts from like 50,000 for
Sure.
a very basic 3D printer that
Mm-hmm.
can help you with prototyping and stuff.
So what does a 50,000 3D printer print? What are what's the ceiling of its capabilities?
It's
Yeah.
300 by 300 by 350 cube. The build volume, like the total build volume, you can actually use the whole platform.
Sure.
To
So
build-
in layman terms?
So in layman terms, again, I'll get back to the umbrella of 3D printing. Right?
Gee.
A 50,000 3D printer can only give you some aesthetics and you can feel what you're going to make in
Sure.
the real world.
Small
The
little things.
Yeah, small little things and the things that will break if it fall off.
So will it build my bobblehead?
Yeah, it can build your bobblehead.
Oh, it can build my
But a very bad quality bobblehead.
Sure.
to be honest. Yeah.
Just to give an idea, so to
Yeah,
speak. Yeah.
ideas.
Okay. So we are at 50,000. Then?
Yeah, then you go up to the budget, whatever money you have, like 5 crores. We have a 3D printer for you. Not we, as in we.
Sure.
We will have a 3D printer for you in
Sure,
future, but
sure.
the world has a 3D printer
But what
for
are the
you.
most popular 3D printers?
The popular 3D
and
printers are the 50,000 ones.
The 50,000 ones.
Yeah.
And what are the other 3D printers used for? How do you see this this industry scaling, so to speak, and 3D Paradise
See,
with it as well?
The scaling part is these big printers that I'm talking about, these 5 crores printers, these 6 crore printers. We already have the prototypes ready for those printers, the powder-based technologies.
Okay.
Now we are slowly building them up so that we can bring those into market for like 50 lakhs. So we are reducing the price from 5 crores to 50 lakhs. And
Okay.
those will be made in India and everything.
Oh.
And so that's what the big haul is all about.
So literally scaling
Yeah.
back to scale up. That's
Yeah.
that's wonderful. But what's the funding scene been like? I mean, have you approached investors? You told us that you're bootstrapped.
Yeah.
So we got the funding opportunities when we started this business. There was pre-sales. We went into an exhibition and some corporate head gave us the funding opportunity.
Okay.
But we kind of refused it because we wanted to make sure that our business goes well according to our fundamentals. And the fundamentals are we have to be flexible in our business and we have to be very research-based company. We cannot stop investing in research.
Sure.
And what I've seen with many startups, especially 3D printing startups, is once they receive the funding and they see, and the investors see that, okay, the flat line is coming, because it comes in this product-based business.
Sure.
And once they see the flat line, they just move the whole business to the educational model. Now, and then they start scamming kids for 99 rupees and they teach 3D printing online.
Sure.
So we never want to do that. So we just.
So what's the future like? What's the plan like? What's the scaling plan like?
The scaling plan is to bring large 3D printers into Indian manufacturing business, and we need to start producing parts with 3D printers, not just prototypes. We want to produce and parts with 3D printers.
And the medical world as well. We were just talking about the fact that in the Western countries, organs are being 3D printed using stem cells. So it's wonderful. What are your products like? What does the product portfolio of 3D Paradise look like?
So our 3D printers, basically, when we started to develop our own products, we knew that we cannot just make one machine and sell it forever.
Sure.
It will keep on changing, and we did not want to change the name of it.
Right.
So we started with our product vision, like for educational and for small startup use, we have this Ether 3D printer. That doesn't look like the first prototype at all. That has totally changed. And for like the industrial one, we have this wafer 3D printer. And for people like us, the engineers, we have this Plixo 3D printer.
Sure.
So we keep on changing these machines, but the name remains the same.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
And if you want to find out more, paradise-3d.com is where you go. I'm assuming the product portfolio is there for
Exactly,
people to see
it's
as
there.
well,
Yeah.
also, I mean, since we're living in the world of social
And
media.
we also provide services, 3D printing services and solutions.
Sure.
So
if you don't want to buy the printer, but you want something printed,
exactly,
that happens as well.
Yeah.
We're living in the world of social media, and listicles are big. So we thought we'd be with it. So we want you to make us a listicle of 3 points about for those to keep in mind, for those who are stepping into the business of 3D printing. They're taking their first tentative steps in the business that you've already sort of started treading in.
Yeah, so top 3 things off the top of my head is just don't take 3D printing classes. That is the first thing. They will just teach you like things like construction 3D printing is going to change the world, and
yeah, they'll show you.
This is just a marketing
They'll show you a
gimmick.
different kind of paradise.
Exactly.
so you need to get real and just start the business and make mistakes like we did for first 3 years of our life and the first 3 years of our career.
Mistakes are the best teachers, man.
Exactly.
And now
Best
we're doing
classroom.
really good. Yeah.
You're doing really good, and I'm very, very proud of that. The fact that it comes so simply and so from the heart means that it is true. So, yeah, remember to make mistakes. Part 2.
Yeah, and the part 2 of...
I think let's
What
go
else
with
do you do?
make your first mistake, make your second mistake,
and make your third mistake. That's exactly right.
And that's what it is. But remember to learn. And that's important.
Keep
An
learning.
investment is not necessary.
What's
If you don't want to get investment, it's fine. You can just bootstrap it.
That's important. So,
Yeah.
before we go, what's that one big learning that you'd like people to remember, or that you'd like to tell people that you've had?
So you just have to be consistent and passionate about whatever you are doing. So that is the
Absolutely.
big
And
learning.
flexibility is another thing.
Yeah.
In startup, you have to be flexible. If we
Absolutely.
were rigid, we would be closed down by now.
For sure.
We changed our whole business model like every month or every year or so.
Sometimes
And
you have
it's fine.
to. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to bend over backwards for circumstances.
Exactly.
So you have to make sure that your body is flexible. That's important. What's also important is for us to thank you for coming in here and sharing so generously of your story. It's been
Glad to
Thank
be
you
here.
for calling
Glad to
us.
be
Yeah.
Paradise-3d.com is where you go to find out what 3D Paradise exactly does, what services they offer. No, we're not asking you to run and get everything. We're just asking you to know, because knowledge is power, and it's a lovely first step as well. So thank you very much, guys. And that's it for Startup Stories. We're taking a break, coming right back right here on 94.3 Radio 1. You stay with us, okay?